Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 605. I want to welcome you back to Thursday's installment of the Two Dumb Yinzers. How you doing this morning, Michael?
I'm doing great. Feeling well rested, ready to go, baby.
You all ready?
I'm ready, man.
Derpy, how you doing, man?
I got my coffee in. I'm ready to run through a wall.
All right, good to hear. We got a lot of things going on today. We do have to make our weekly NFL picks. I believe the weekend starts tonight. I didn't look at
Yes,
the
it does.
schedule.
Yeah.
We
Yep.
do. We got a game. All right.
Yeah. Bills, Dolphins.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
So we will be going over that here in a little while, doing some picks for the show. Also, guys, got a lot of things to go over today. Plus, Derpy does have a review of the Beetlejuice movie that just came out. So we'll get to that here in a little while as well. Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Ooh.
Derpy, let me ask you a question, man.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever finished a puzzle?
Yes, sir.
Have you really? Damn it, I must be the only person that's never
You
finished a
must be.
puzzle.
Yeah, because you asked me this off air at the
I've never,
studio.
never, excuse me, I've never finished a puzzle ever in my life.
It's gotta be you, man. It's gotta be you.
I require about less than 25 pieces, though. That's the thing. I have no attention for something that's 1,000 pieces. Come on. That's for insane people.
Well, then it would be perfect for you.
Well, that's why I'm saying it doesn't work for me. So, I mean, obviously,
Uh,
you
by that
know,
test, yeah, you're not insane. But I think all the other tests we had done on you prove that you might be a little insane.
never.
Yeah.
I like the best. I like the people that sell their puzzles that they already do at yard
Yeah.
sales or garage sales. And I guarantee half of those people didn't do them. They got it. They got it as a gift. They were so upset,
Uh-huh.
and they're like, you know what? I'm just giving this away. I'm going to sell it at the yard sale or whatnot. I don't know. It seems to me that when people get really invested in these puzzles, there's a lot that goes into it, Derpy. People, I mean, they if you have a spare room or a living room, wherever you do it, there's so much space consumed. You have the big table, you have the outline, the frame of the puzzle. I don't know. To me, it just seems like too much. And as I told Mike, no matter what, it always seems like there's always one piece missing at the end.
And like you said, you're in trouble if you even been around that process. Because like you said, you are
If I was in your
the
house
prime
anytime
suspect.
since that table's been up, it could have been months ago when you started the puzzle. I am now a suspect because your one piece came up missing. And I got to
Yeah.
be honest with you, I would be surprised if it wasn't them just putting 999 pieces in a box just to fuck with people.
Like I would if I was selling one, I
That is a
would I
yeah.
would mess with them.
That
I
was
like I'm
Milton
gonna
Bradley.
like I would
Uh,
have something different in there. Like one I'd like have multiple puzzles and mix up one piece each.
it's certainly from the the generation before us. Our generations, we like board games.
Yeah.
In our board game closet, where you always had your board games up
Hmm.
top of the closet, it always included a few puzzle boxes.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, in my house, it was never the puzzles that got played with. It was not ever,
Yeah.
ever. I've never completed a puzzle. It was almost like reading a book, you know.
You don't do puzzles, you don't do books. You're just a
I'm a top
I
specimen,
don't know.
believe me.
You are.
I'm quite a specimen.
It's surprised though that your mind's still that razor sharp
It
though.
really is. I gotta be honest with you. One day when I write my memoirs, you'll be quite amazed. I'm gonna be honest. Um, Welcome back, everybody. Yes, this is episode 605 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. We got a lot of stuff to go over today, guys. We're closing in on the NFL weekend, week number two of the NFL. Also, last night, Bailey Falter comes close to throwing a no-hitter. That gets poo-pooed at the end. And David Bednar wanted to screw it up even more. I'll get more into that as we get there. Caitlin Clark back in action tonight as the Fever, or last night as the Fever faces the Aces. And there's kind of a big college football game going on in town this week. We're going
Yeah,
to
a
talk
little bit.
about that as well. But as always, guys, during these football season, we do start out with our Pittsburgh Steelers. That's never going to change. That will never change. That'll never
Never.
change.
Never.
And like I was telling Mike too, it's never a normal puzzle where you could figure these things out. It's usually a 1,000 piece puzzle of 30 white cats. I hate these. I hate them puzzles.
You're gonna go off all day about these puzzles.
I
And,
just
and I'm here for it. I love when you go down that rabbit hole of obsession.
Anybody on the board today? I'm not even ask Brian. Brian. Good morning, Brian. He he solves Rubik's cubes. I mean he don't
Oh
solve them.
no.
Mike, I no seriously, Derpy. We were at the radio station the other day, and a gentleman, long time radio host there, had a Rubik's cube on his desk, and he wasn't there. And I said, Brian, hurry up and fix this Rubik's cube, and we'll put it back on his desk to surprise him. Bro, within 3 minutes, this Rubik's cube was complete. Unbelievable what he does. But there you go, everybody. Brian, good morning on the board. Everybody knows Brian Pasquale. Puzzles, Rubik's cubes. I don't do none of them. But yes, guys, the Pittsburgh Steelers are back in action this weekend. They do play at 4:25 on Sunday against the Denver Broncos in Denver. Bo Nix will be leading the way for the Broncos in their charge against the Pittsburgh Steelers in week 2 of the NFL. Guys, lots of things to go over. Just one moment. Brian on the board, I do want to say we are going to talk about Caitlin's performance from last night. It'll probably be mid-show, give or take. I'm going to pull up the injury report real quick, guys, because I do want to hit the injury report before we do get started. There are some names on the injury list for both teams. I think that this is going to be, I don't know, somewhat significant. So let me pull this up real quick. If only I can. If only I can.
I have the injury report ready if you want.
I got it. Get out of my face.
Hey, I was trying to help move the show along, brother.
All right. All right, guys. So this is the injury report for the Steeler game for the weekend. These are the people who are limited and did not practice this week. Your quarterback, number 3, Russell Wilson, of course, with his calf, he's been limited. Roman Wilson, rookie wide receiver out of Michigan, with his ankle, he's been limited. Darius Rush, the cornerback, with his concussion, he's been limited as well. Larry Ogunjobi with his knee, limited. Dan Moore Jr. with the ankle, did not practice. And Isaac Seumalo with his pec did not practice. Over on the Denver Broncos, they got 5 guys on their list. Their tackle, Garrett Boyles with the calf, did not practice. Wide receiver Josh Reynolds with his Achilles, did not practice. Devon Veal with his ribs, did not practice. Luke Wattenberg with his ankle, the center, did not practice. And finally, outside linebacker Jonah Ellis with his knee, it was limited during practice. But I'm going to go out on a far limb, guys. I'm going to say that we're going to have a uncharacteristically good game against the Denver Broncos. This is going to be one of them confidence builders. This is going to be one of them games that on Monday morning, we're all going to be online ordering our Super Bowl tickets. If not ordering, certainly looking and trying to figure out what the price may be, just in case our Steelers might, fall into the Super Bowl. But I'm going to warn you right now. I do think that this is going to be an uncharacteristically good game by the Steelers. This Denver team is considered to be the worst team in the league, number 32. Some may say, watch out for a trap game. I don't think this one's going to be it. It'll come down the road. But I think this be the game that, we could possibly score in the high 20s. With our defense, we could keep Denver from scoring a lot of points. And Bo Nix, because Bo Nix, of course, is not only the quarterback, but he's also the leading rusher on this Denver Broncos team, which is kind of funny. So we do have those things going in our favor. But like I said, I do believe, if I was a gambling man, I would say that the Steelers will win this game, and it's not going to be a 3-point. It's not going to be a scary finish. And you know what? If it is, geez, oh man.
Yeah, and this is where Justin Field had his best game as a pro. It was last year in Denver. He was, I can't remember the stat line exactly. I know he had like over 200 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. So if he can, recapture that, oh my God, I would be happy. I would be ecstatic. 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, over 200 yards passing. Give that touchdowns to me. Feed me. Yeah, four passing touchdowns last year. I read that stat line correctly. 4 touchdowns and 1 pick last year in Denver. I'll see if I can pull up the actual stat line for it. But if we can do that out of Fields, I would be ecstatic and happy.
As everybody knows, the Steelers did not score any touchdowns last week. They were one of 3 teams in the NFL who didn't manage to score no offensive touchdowns in week one. The Steelers, along with the Chicago Bears and the New York Giants, the Giants being the only team to lose out of those three. However, the Giants, the Bears, and the Steelers, all three teams as of right now, have no offensive touchdowns. I think that changes this weekend. It doesn't surprise me what's going on up there with the Giants and the Bears. That's an interesting story, what's going on over there. I'm going to certainly keep up with their number one pick and all the things that are going on in Chicago right now. Mike, any scoop?
But yeah, he was 28-35 last year, 335 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. That was by far his best game as a professional. And I'd like to see that performance out of him this week and put a lock on that number 1 spot. You know, if he can go and produce that, and that's going to go a long way helping this team, helping him and this offense grow. I don't think we're going to get that. I'd be happy with, him throwing for 2 touchdowns, Najee punching 1 in, Boss kicking a couple field goals and get out of there. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't know. Anytime we go play in Denver, I get nervous. I have flashbacks of, Ryan Clark almost dying due to sickle cell, of, Ike Taylor getting burnt, and letting Tim Tebow throw that game-winning touchdown. Yeah, like, we go to Denver, I have zero confidence just because I just remember the tragedies that befall us every time we go there.
Well, I'm going to pull out my genie power today, Mike. I'm going to tell you that the Steelers are going to win this week. They will be 2-0. If they don't win, you may never see me again. But the fact of the matter is,
let's go Denver, baby.
I do feel that they will win this football game. I do feel that they'll win it. And that, like I said, it's going to be an uncharacteristically good-looking win. Denver's really bad. I think our defense is it really should. From what I see from both teams last week, our defense should shut Denver down. And again, this is a team that I think that the Steelers, number 32 in the league, you got to hope that we can, put some points on the board. Of course, last week it was all Chris Boswell, Mike Derpy. Chris Boswell was named the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Listen to this, guys. He is literally the first player ever to have 250-plus yard field goals, which obviously he had 3, a game-winning field goal, and he recovered an opponent's fumble, which is the only time in the history that's ever been done by a kicker. Are we gonna depend on Chris Boswell this week as well, Mike, or do you think that we could possibly get offense rolling as I was saying?
I think we can get the offense rolling this week. Their defense is not that good. They do have Patrick Surtain at corner. I think that's going to be a fun matchup to watch him and George go at it again. They went at it in college a bunch. I think we should be able to move the ball on this defense, put up some points. I'll be disappointed if we don't score at least 2 touchdowns. We got to score at least. We got to punch it in twice. Anything less than that,
I think we will. I think we're going to run one. I think we're going to punt. I think we're going to run one. I think we're going to pass one. Like I said, I think we're going to get in the high 20s, maybe 27, 29, something like this. I just like I said, if we don't, we may have bigger issues than we thought, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think that we're going to prove that we're slightly better than people think. We do have issues. We have offensive line issues. Of course, we have a whole wide receiver too that we, can certainly use a player in. But at the end of the day, we're not a terrible team. We fit into that group of all the of all those teams right in the middle. That I think that at the end somebody's going to have to pop out the top and be a team that's going to play in the playoffs. And I do think that the Steelers are going to be one of those teams. They don't have. Listen, it's got to get better, right? It's got to.
You would think, but will it truly get better? And I hope it does. Early signs are pointing towards. No, I mean, like I going back and watching the game again, you kind of see the concepts that they're going for, but will they be able to execute? That's going to be the thing. I understand what the game plan on offense, but will they be able to execute it consistently? And that's going to
I think they're going to this week.
I hope so. I hope so.
I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with what the Steelers are able to do in Denver this weekend. Give me a moment just to address the board.
Yeah.
Good morning, Ralph. Always great to see you, my friend. Brian says 35 seconds is his best time for solving a Rubik's Cube. I've literally had a Rubik's Cube for 35 years, and it hasn't been touched from that original F up that I made, you know. And also, Brian says Mike likes when guys go at it. Yes, he does. That's
I do.
true.
I like it when the guys go at it, man. Like you just that. Why do you think I watch the line play enough? I love watching the big sweaty guys go at it.
Mike, also, did you know that this weekend in the NFL, weekend number one, there were 19 field goals of 50 plus yards made. This is also another thing that's never been done in the NFL. That is the most ever in a weekend. 19 field goals of 50 plus yard were made. You're just seeing that position get stronger all the time. The kicker's legs with their, if you got to the logo in the middle of the field, Boz was good. I mean, the logo in the middle of the field,
Yeah, like we talked about last year, I think it was, we were saying like, Gary Anderson, Morton Anderson, and kicking a 50-yard field goal was like, oh my God, that's 50, or is it going to make it or not? Now these guys are, oh, it's 50-yard. That's that's a gimme. That's a chip shot. He should be able to make that. Now you're pushing 57 for Boswell is like, that's insane what these kickers are doing. And what the NFL needs good kickers because we're not getting good quarterback play right now. So we need someone to put up the points. And if we're not going to get the deep pass, we might as well have the deep field goal.
Well, Mike, what this was leading to was now this is very interesting to me because, as I said, this past weekend there was 19 field goals of 50 plus or more in the NFL, most of all time ever. Now, let me segue that into the group of 6 Pittsburgh Steelers nominated for the senior category of possibly going to the Hall of Fame. Guys, Norm Johnson is on the list. Yes, the field goal kicker from Super Bowl 30, the field goal kicker that I grew up with. Of course, in my younger life, Gary Anderson was the guy. But Norm Johnson, obviously, through my teenage years into the first Super Bowl I've ever got to watch, Norm Johnson is on the list of 6 players nominated for the senior category, guys, for the Hall of Fame this year. A couple other names on that list. Let me give them to you. Let me give them all to you. Besides for Norm Johnson, the kicker, you have L.C. Greenwood also on this list.
Should already be in.
Andy Russell on this list.
Ooh.
Mike Wagner on this list.
Another damn good player.
Byron Whizzer White on this list. And finally, I don't know. There's somebody else on this list.
I can't remember.
Eugene Big Daddy Limpscomb.
With a name like that, you have to be in.
So those 6 guys are nominated for the senior category, which it will obviously get narrowed down and down and down and down. But Norm Johnson, L.C. Greenwood, Andy Russell, Mike Wagner, Byron Whizzer White, and Eugene Big Daddy Limpscomb are the 6 guys that are nominated for the senior category to send somebody to the Hall of Fame. So we have a chance. We have a chance. And Mike, as you said, there are certainly a couple people on there that probably should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, like LC should be in. Oh God, I would love to see.
How do you leave LC out?
Yeah, he should. That entire front 4 should be in. They changed the landscape of the NFL, and they were just dominant, all individually dominant players. They should be in. Andy Russell, he was a carryover from those bad teams to the beginning of the Super Bowl run. He got help win the first 2. Mike Wagner's a solid safety back there. Gets overshadowed by everyone else on that defense. That's the problem. A lot of those guys on the defense were like, oh, well, is it because they were so good or they're surrounded by great players? They're all individually great players, but I say Russell and Wagner are borderline. LC should definitely be in, should have already been in.
Yeah, and if you go back historically, I think people would say that Byron Whizzer White also should be in there. And in my opinion, you know what? You're starting to send kickers and special teamers now. Always sign me up for Norm Johnson no matter what. For the rest of my life. I don't care if he makes it, if he doesn't. Always, he has my endorsement. I want to see Norm Johnson in the Hall of Fame.
Everyone preaches the importance of special teams, but they don't want to honor the greats at the position. Like the Hall of Fame is for the greats of the league, and that includes special teams. Like more returners should be in, more kickers and punters should be in, because tell us, in Pittsburgh, the last couple of years watching Presley Harvin punt, we know the importance of a damn good punter.
Goes a long way. No two ways about it.
Like Adam Vinatieri won how many of those Super Bowls for Tom Brady?
Yeah. Those first 3 Super Bowls, they were all.
It was all Vinatieri, man, because they couldn't, score it late in the game, so they had to rely on his leg.
Mike, the PFF, of course, the numbers come out for PFF. We went over a little bit earlier in this week. And we only cover them because you know what, people pay attention to it. Otherwise, I don't really put much stock into the PFF.
Only when they agree with my preconception notions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they sort of do this week, so let's have fun.
Yeah. So they're great this week.
So they throw together a team every week of PFF, the team of the week. So of all the best players who scored highest in the PFF, they put on one team. TJ Watt, and no surprise there, Cam Hayward are put on this week's PFF team of the week. You know what's Cam got to do? He gets 3 tackles and he's a player of the week. I just don't understand. Maybe I don't understand the way they judge that position. I just don't know how. As I said, did he do anything great? Did he get a sack? Did he do any? Mike, he had 3 or 4 tackles.
He helped get some pressure here and there, helped in the run game. But again, a lot of the video that I was watching on him was one-on-one blocking. You expect that out of Cam on one-on-one. Yeah. A lot of the double teams were going to Keanu and Ogunjobi.
He better win them. The one-on.
He better win those one-on-one. If he can consistently beat those one-on-one battles the way he did this week, it signed me up because he was playing really well.
And then also, Mike, this is the PFF highest grades of the week for defenders. Do you want to hear this list?
Yeah.
I'm going to start from the top and go down.
Yeah.
TJ Watt is the number 1 graded defender of the week in the NFL, according to PFF, with a 95.3. Aiden Hutchinson follows up the number 2 spot with 94. Julian Love, 93.4. Fred Warner, 92.6. From now, I'm just going to give you the names because, we're on the bottom part of the list. Dexter Lawrence, Logan Wilson, Jalen Johnson, John Johnson III, Joey Bosa. And you know what? They couldn't make a list. They couldn't make a list without putting this man on it. Number 10.
Myles Garrett.
No matter, you got, let's see, 11 guys on each defense times 32 teams. That's the amount of players you have to choose from. That Myles Garrett sneaks in at number 10 on this list of top defenders of the week. If that doesn't surprise you, come on. You can't tell me that there's nobody in the NFL who's a better defensive player this week than Myles Garrett. Come on.
I didn't
hear he makes this list no matter what goes on.
I didn't hear Micah Parsons' name on this list, and I thought he played a hell of a game against the Browns. I thought he was the better of the two quote-unquote edge rushers on. I thought Michael Parsons played a well.
He was all over the place. He was a wild animal compared to what you've seen from Myles Garrett. It was 2 different. It was night and day.
It was too.
How Parsons doesn't end up on this list, but Myles Garrett does. Just goes to show you what Come on.
Yeah. But hey, they got the top right. They got the number 1 spot right. That's Brian's favorite defensive player out there. TJ Watt.
You got to tell me, you got to say though that this year he's been a little bit more impressive so far.
Yeah,
from the last season and a half. Just the way he's playing the run, he's getting in the backfield. He's riding the heels of the players across the line to make runs that are going left. Yeah. That's the TJ Watt that I want to see. That's the TJ Watt from the past. That's the TJ Watt that I think that can win Defensive Player of the Year if he continues to play like that and adds what he does on the pass rush year in year out. I could see him, Mike. I could see him being Defensive Player of the Year because again, some of the people that they give awards to, I mean, it's somewhat suspect. Who can argue what TJ's done in this, in this league? I mean, the only player 3 times to win the sack title. I mean, that alone tells you what caliber guy you have.
Yeah,
you would think would mean something when you're trying to figure these kind of numbers out.
He only needs 1 or 2 more sacks to be the second fastest to reach 100. This
guy's never been a Player of the Year.
Yeah, Reggie White's the only guy above him on that list. That's not bad company. Reggie White might be the best defensive end I've ever seen play football, and for him to be second on that list, that's amazing. And yeah, like you said, man, the way he's playing the run this year, like the last couple of years, we just watched him. How many times would we watch him run himself out of a play?
Unbelievably,
numerous times, and we would sit there and be screaming like, "What are you doing? You have to set the edge." And he did that this week, so that's very encouraging, especially on that very first stop that he had in that first drive. He shot through the backfield and squared up to the quarterback and the running back to where he could be able to go with whoever was getting the ball and made the nice defense play in the backfield. If he can do that consistently, we've seen him do it in the past. If he makes the commitment to it, the sacks will come. They will follow, him stopping the run. And he's well on his way to his second, should probably be his 3rd Defensive Player of the Year award.
Yeah, absolutely. No 2 ways about it. He should certainly be up there every year. Again, even when he doesn't play his best football, I still think he could hang in there with all these other guys, Mike. I really do. At the end of the day.
And I real quick, I like when people say TJ Watt gets a lot of garbage time, sacks. When have the Steelers been blown out? And when he gets you look
when are
how
we ever
many
in
one
garbage
score
time
games are the
Every game
Steelers
is
in?
they're all one score. And
occasionally he'll get that, we'll get blown out and he's still out there. But every other game is like a one possession game, 1 to 2 possession game where every play matters at that point.
Like, according to Sunday Night Football, this is a list of this week's power rankings. I've seen about 8 lists and they've all been different. So just bear with me. I grabbed this one from Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
This guy's going into week 2 is your power rankings in the NFL. Number 1, there is no surprise, the Kansas City Chiefs. I guess until somebody knocks them off, they are the Patriots of this decade, unfortunately. Number 2 in the league, Mike. I've seen this number change a little bit from list to list, but the Detroit Lions sit at the number 2 spot on this Sunday Night Football list. San Francisco 49ers. Derby?
I said
Yeah, that's what
with the Lions.
I thought he was blowing his nose.
I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to do better. That was a pretty close game. They could have went down if it was an overtime win, but I think they're better than that. But anyway, let's move to number 3, guys. San Francisco 49ers, number 3 in the league. I don't think many people could argue these. The 49ers, the Ravens, number 4, the Eagles, number 5. That's your top 5 teams in the league. Chiefs, Lions, Niners, Ravens, Eagles. Number 6, the Baker Mayfield-led Buccaneers. Number 7, the Buffalo Bills. Number 8, Joe Mixon-led Houston Texans, who led the whole entire league in rushing this week. Boy, is Cincinnati sure missing him.
Big time.
Number 9, the Miami Dolphins. Number 10, dropping 7 spots since their loss against Philadelphia. And Brazil, the Green Bay Packers round out the top 10. Number 11 on the Sunday Night Football list is the Pittsburgh Steelers, up 4. They gained some ground. I like this. They're just outside the top 10 teams in the NFL, according to the Sunday Night Football, NBC Sunday Night Football top 10 power rankings. Number 12, Mike, you might like this one because of the player. Dallas Cowboys, right behind the Steelers, which I think it's funny that they're behind
Michael Parsons, number 12.
And they are up 7. So up 7 spots after the win over Cleveland. Chicago Bears falling to number 13.
That's way too high.
That's way too high for the Bears.
No, I couldn't agree more.
Great defense, but
I mean, a couple of teams that haven't scored any offensive touchdowns are pretty high.
Yeah.
Number 13, the Chicago Bears. 14, the Bengals. Number 15, coming up 2 spots, is the Rams. And number 16, dropping 2 spots, was the Jets to complete the first half of the top power rankings in the NFL as of week 2. Here's the second part of the list. Number 17, leading the second column, the Cleveland Browns. The Browns, they dropped 5 points after their loss to Dallas. Also, the Chargers coming in at number 18. The Falcons dropped 3 spots after their loss to the Steelers. They are 19 in the league. Jaguars sitting at 20. The Seahawks 21. The Colts 22. The Saints 23. Some good quarterback play from Derek Carr and from this next team, Sam Darnold. The Vikings sit at number 24. The Patriots up 6 spots. The Patriots up 6 spots after beating the Bengals. They sit at number 25. Number 26 is your Arizona Cardinals. Number 27, the Steelers' opponent this week, Denver Broncos. Number 28, the Tennessee Titans. And all the rest of the teams are teams that you would certainly expect to be in these last 4. Number 29, the Washington Commanders. Number 30, who is the Ravens' opponent this weekend, the Raiders. Number 31, the New York Giants. And number 32, the lowly Carolina Panthers. And that is your list of your power rankings for week 2, according to NFL Sunday Night Football on NBC.
That Panthers team may be worse than some of the expansion teams that we saw. Like they're worse than the expansion Texans and the expansion Browns. Like those were 2 of the worst expansion teams of any sport I've seen. And this Panthers team their expansion team was a whole hell of a lot better than what they have going on now.
Do you remember when the Panthers were an expansion team when it was Jacksonville and the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah, like they weren't that bad.
Yep.
They were. Yeah, you're right. And
they felt more competitive. I think they may have only won one game that year, but they felt more competitive than what we're seeing now out of them.
Tim Batuka. I don't know if he was that early, but I remember he was an early Panther.
Yeah. I love Tim Batuka, man.
You want to say good morning to Jennifer on the board. Jennifer says, sounds like the power rankings are based on what the talking heads expect the teams to do and not what they're on their work typical. I totally agree with you 100%. Yeah. And that's why I did mention at the top of the bit, I did say that there's about 8 different
there's so many
power rankings out there, and every one that I look at, they're all different.
Yeah.
So.
But like especially like the Bengals sitting at 14. That
I feel like
team
lower.
That team is going to be imploding this year.
Well, that's obviously, guys. We didn't really see too much in week 1. We've seen a lot, but week 2 we're going to get more to feel. Okay, this team that lost week 1, was it a fluke, or is they going to come week 2, or are they going to continue to struggle? And then we can say what this team isn't as good as we thought they were. But so again, you pick up 10 power rankings at this point, you may get 9 different results on that. But guys,
I like it. We have Pittsburgh in the top 10. I'll take it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, they're 11, but
okay, close enough. Whatever.
Also, guys, something interesting I seen. A little respect from the rival in the division. Ravens Marlon Humphrey says, if you let these Steelers stick around, they're going to beat you at the end. And if that hasn't been a case of this Steeler team over the past couple of seasons, you let them hang around long enough.
Yeah,
they're going to win, and that's what happened to us with the Ravens. That's what happened to us in many games.
Yeah,
but you know what? That couldn't hold more true, Mike. You think?
It's true. Yeah, and he should know, man. We're 7-1 in the last 8 against the Ravens, and
I don't think people say that enough. Mike, could you do that one more time?
7-1 in the last 8 against the Baltimore Ravens. And it's just a great feeling.
I just don't feel that people say that enough. I want to hear more.
They don't. The 7-1 against the hated Ravens, and Baltimore knows, and it pisses them off.
Oh, absolutely.
They're like, we're getting beat by Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and Mitch Trubisky. Get the F out of here.
Remember when Ben was on his farewell tour and they just put up a video of him getting sacked and smashed for 3 minutes?
Yep.
Yeah. And he went out there to whoop that ass.
Yeah. Mike, Steelers signed Shaquan Davis to the practice squad. Whether he ever sees the field or not, I don't know. They released linebacker Marcus Haynes. Sorry.
Well, the way the injuries are going on this team, you never know.
Yeah.
Practice squatters might be getting caught up sooner rather than later.
Also, a couple other things around the league, Mike. The 49ers and the Jets. This game that went down the other night? The final score was 32-19. Did you know that score has never, ever
no way
been a final score in the NFL in the history of ever?
We had a score-origami.
It was 32-19. San Francisco beat the Jets. That score has never been a final score until the other night. That's kind of cool.
What? Maybe, just maybe.
Do you remember?
We'll put up 32
There
points.
You go, Jets fans. You got something going for you.
Right? You remember when we beat the Chargers back in the early part? We beat them 11-10.
It should have been
It was an 11-10 final score. We beat them, and that was the first time that score has ever been.
Yeah, because
I like that.
They took away Troy's touchdown.
Yeah, and then also Mike from Cleveland, Deshaun Watson accused of a 2020 sexual assault in a new lawsuit. Boy, does this keep getting better and better and better and better and better and better for us.
Yes, it does. And I like how the NFL said, he's not being put on the exempt non-football list or whatever. It wouldn't surprise me. I hope you hope this didn't happen. And you hope it's just, Cleveland trying to put out some disinformation to get out of
everything I ever wanted. Just everything I've ever asked for. I wanted this.
I don't want some poor woman to be.
I don't want anybody to be assaulted, but
I can see
the results of what's going on with Deshaun Watson. I love it.
Like in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, if I could not get out of that contract, if I gave some of that money, wouldn't I start planting stories out there to see if I can get this guy suspended by the league and be able to void his contract?
Well, that seems pretty sinister. I don't know what the hell goes through your head. But listen,
when you have nothing to do all day at work, this is what you think about.
I was just laughing.
Oh, Well, don't do that. It confuses me.
This is my conspiracy theory. Let me have one that the Browns are trying to sabotage their own
Speaking of
player
conspiracy
to get
theory,
out of the contract.
If you suffered your way through the debates the other night, which I unfortunately had to do because I was at work it was on the radio.
You mean the clown show?
Well, yeah, actually, yes, it's true, guys. Okay, so there was accusations thrown around that people in Ohio are eating their cats. The cats and dogs are getting eaten in Ohio. And when I fact checked this, Mike, I fact checked this, and it was 100% true. Because in Ohio over the past weekend, both the Browns and the Bengals did get they got ate up.
Oh, look at you.
Huh? You like that?
Look at you.
I like that.
So there you go.
Oh.
Browns and Bengals. Let me catch up on the board. Jen says Jets look horrible. Love it. Can't stand Rodgers. Me neither. And listen to this. The Rodgers show, I can't wait till it's over. And I'm so glad that it went the way that it did last year. And I can't in a million years imagine that Aaron Rodgers is going to lead the New York Jets to the Super Bowl, which is why they have a million primetime games. For some reason, this is a big thing. The guy's aging. He missed all last season due to an injury. I'm already through with this Aaron Rodgers show. It's almost becoming as annoying as the Taylor Swift show in Kansas City. The AFC is a little bit on the annoying side, but Jen also says this. That may work out for the Browns. If he's suspended, the Browns could void his contract. You know what? It's just I love seeing the stuff go down in Cleveland because it's like watching the clock turn. You know it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's always something with them.
And then you got the Bengals trying to self implode down there. This is great.
And the Bengals, they got bigger problems too because again they don't have, they lose Tyler Boyd.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you say that what's her face wasn't playing? What's the other? Not
T. Higgins.
T. Higgins wasn't playing.
Been battling a hammy when he wants a new contract. So is that a contract ploy? Jamar Chase wanting more money.
Joe Mixon goes to Houston. So this team certainly isn't the same. Anybody would put these guys above the Steelers in their preseason predictions. I think that we're going to learn real fast that these Bengals aren't going to be that team that you've seen play in the Super Bowl a couple years back.
No, and Joe Burrow, like if his wrist is really hurt, like they show in the video of him struggling to pick up a water bottle and him flexing it.
Bro, that's what happened to him last year. The dude can't stay healthy. He can't stay healthy.
Yeah, it sucks for him, but
he's Glass Joe.
Yeah. I don't mind seeing teams that the Steelers go against have guys get injured. And, sorry, Joe Burrow, you just happen to be a Bengal. So your injury woes kind of make me feel better for my team.
Well, absolutely. I don't know these guys. I don't know. I don't know. If they get injured, that's fine with me. They don't care if I get injured.
Exactly. Whatever helps my team, win, I'm for.
I just would like to clarify something.
Yeah, please, Derpy.
I've foreseen the Bengals' downfall.
You have.
Because I said history matters in it, obviously, even though it's week one passed. The Bengals are the Bengals.
Exactly.
There it is.
The Bengals are the Bengals.
Straight from the panda's mouth. There you have it. Mike, Derpy, we do have these picks. Let's do them quick because we do have a lot of things we still have to go over today. I'm gonna jump into this week's NFL schedule. We'll blow through this, Derpy. You lost by 1, man.
I know.
There was 16 games to pick last week. Mike got 14 correct. You got 13 correct. I mean, what's the chances of two people doing that well? Anyway, you did lose by 1. So you're going to make up a little ground this week, Derpy, because, again, there is Permani sandwich food at stake for this year's winner of the season-long football picks. Mike, Derpy, let's hop on it. Tonight's game starts the NFL weekend with the Bills at the Dolphins. This is an 8:15 start. Derpy, let me start with you on this one. Who do you like out of the Bills at the Dolphins in South Florida?
Give me the Bills. I liked how they played last week.
All right. Mike, the Bills at the Dolphins.
I'm trying to find a game time temperature because that's going to influence a lot of things. Game time temperature at 8.
Mike's like, we're going to do this segment quickly. Let me look up.
Let me go. I need this one. I need this one. Yeah, for Miami at home this early in the season.
Couldn't have been doing this, in your off time. Let's wait till we're.
I'm going to wait till we're in the middle of the segment to do it.
We're in a hurry and we have so much to cover in the last 20 minutes of the show.
Yeah, that's how I roll. Baby.
Can you just pick a team, please?
I did. I said Miami. You were too busy.
You wanted Miami in this game?
Yeah, it's in Miami.
All right, let's
87
move on.
degrees at kickoff.
The next game is the first 1 o'clock game on Sunday between the 49ers and the Vikings in Minnesota. Mike, I'm going to start with you on this one. 49ers at Minnesota.
Well, it's going to be in a dome, so weather's not going to matter, but I am going to take the San Francisco 49ers.
All right, Derpy, coming to you. 49ers at Minnesota. Mike likes the 49ers. Who do you like?
Sam Darnold will not save you, Vikings fans, for this week's 49ers will win.
All right. Game number 3, also 1 o'clock. This is Seattle at New England. I think this game could be interesting, guys. Seattle squeaks out a 3-point win last week. The Patriots, I think, surprised a lot of people by the way they played against Cincinnati. Mike, Seattle and New England.
I hate to say it. I hate to pick against my guy, Geno Smith, but I'm gonna ride this little New England resurgence at the beginning of the season. It's at home again. I think they're gonna have another type performance, and they're gonna eke out a victory.
All right, Derpy, over to you. Seattle at New England. Seattle at New England.
I'm gonna have to agree with Mike. I hate Foxborough, but they're at home.
You're going with the Patriots?
Yes.
All right, guys. The 4th game of the week is between, oh, geez, look at this game.
Yeah.
The New York Giants at the Washington Commanders. Derpy, Giants, Commanders. Is there any game that you would rather not watch more than this one? Giants at Commanders, Derpy.
Give me the Commanders.
Mike, same question. You know the.
Yeah. When you have a team as bad as the New York Jets, or Giants, you got to pick against them. Give me the Commanders, even though they got a rookie quarterback. Give me the Commanders.
I like their rookie quarterback that I like better than Daniel Jones.
Oh, yeah, he's trash.
I take Derpy over Daniel Jones. Next game, guys, the Chargers at the Panthers. Chargers at the Panthers. Derpy, who you like in this game? Deontay Johnson could blow up, man.
Give me. Oh man, this is tough because they both suck.
Yeah, they do.
Give me the Chargers.
All right, Mike, over to you. The Chargers at the Panthers.
Yeah, give me the Chargers all day, every day over this team. My God.
I would choose the Panthers over nobody this year until they show me that, they could do anything.
Yeah. Anyway, like Deontay Johnson might blow up that little kid who's playing quarterback back there. My God, that guy is terrible.
Mike, Saints at Cowboys. Derek Carr, big time performance.
Big time performance. I like Dallas's defense too much. I think it was
against Carolina. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was against Carolina. I like Dallas's defense too much. I think Dak is great regular season quarterback. Give me the Cowboys. I hate to say it, but give them to me.
Derpy, the Cowboys are hosting the Saints. Who do you like in this game?
Give me the Cowgirls. I mean the Cowboys.
All right. Not a lot of creativity so far. You guys matching every game except for one. So keep this in mind. We're moving forward. The next game, guys, also 1 o'clock. This game is at Lambeau Field. Is the Green Bay Packers host the Indianapolis Colts? Mike, who do you like in this game?
I'm gonna take the Colts. I think Love is out for a while. If I remember correctly. Yeah, he is going to be injured. So give me the Colts.
All right, guys. Derpy, I'm sorry. Colts at Packers.
The Colts surprised me last week a little bit, so I'm going to go with the Colts.
All right. Browns at Jaguars. I think this game is kind of interesting. I think that the Browns, they didn't quite play up to their potential last week. I think that they certainly have quarterback issues. They have a lot of good things going on, though. Their running game is strong. Their defense is tough. The Jaguars have Trevor Lawrence. He's able to throw, put up 300 yards any given week. Mike, who do you like in this game between the Browns and the Jaguars in Northeast Florida this weekend?
I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like I said, that quarterback situation in Cleveland needs to be rectified, and I don't think they can rectify it, and that's going to limit their chances because that defense is going to have to carry that team all season long, and I think Jacksonville just has too much.
All right, Derpy. Browns at Jaguars.
Jaguars. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't pick the Browns. This next game, guys, this might be a good one. I don't know. I mean, it's not going to be a great football game, but
Yeah.
between these two teams, the Jets and Titans in Tennessee, the Jets at Titans Derby. Who do you like?
You let me down last week, Titans. Give me the Jets.
All right, Mike. Same question. Jets at Titans.
I hate to do this, but I'm going to agree with Derby. Give me the Jets. I did not like what I saw from Will Levis last week. The Jets
You
didn't
got to base
impress,
the
but
game
I
off.
think they can
You have
beat
to
this
base your
team.
opinion, Mike, off of quarterback playing this game. I would think, and it would
Yeah.
It would be Aaron Rodgers over Will Levis.
Yeah, like they have weapons down in Tennessee. Like he just, I just not did not like the way he managed that
All
game at
right,
all,
we do
especially
got
the
to
late.
move on here, guys. The next game, Mike. This will come to you. Buccaneers at the Lions. Baker
Ooh,
Mayfield.
this is the rematch from the Super Bowl. I'm gonna take the Lions. I think it's gonna be a damn good game, a close game. I think the
What
Lions
Super
just eke
Bowl?
it out.
What?
The playoff game from last year.
Oh, okay.
If I said Super Bowl, I'm sorry. It was the
So you want the
champion.
Lions?
Yeah, I want the Lions. Yeah.
Derpy, over to you. Buccaneers at Lions.
I've learned from last week giving the Lions.
Still so
I
far we're
know.
one game
I
difference, guys.
know.
We do have to move though because we're getting short on time. Last 1 o'clock game of the week. Derpy Raiders at the Ravens. The hated
Ooh.
Raiders at the Dirty Birds, the shit birds. Who do you like?
Ooh. I hate Baltimore, so I'm just gonna go with the Raiders.
Interesting. Mike.
I'm going to take the Ravens. They're going to have a bounce back game. Yeah, it's going to be a tight one. I like that
All
Raiders
right.
defense, but yeah,
Good
Baltimore.
deal. First 405 game. Mike, Rams at the Cardinals. Rams at the Cardinals.
The Rams. That Cardinals team, they're pesky, but I think the Rams are going to pull this one out.
Derby, Rams at Cardinals.
I'm going Rams because they performed well against the Lions.
All right, next game, guys. 425 on Sunday. I think this, in theory, should have been a good game. After what I saw last week, I don't know, guys. Bengals at Chiefs. Mike, Bengals at Chiefs.
Give me the Chiefs all day, every day in this matchup right now.
Derby, Bengals at Chiefs.
Taylor Swift Club. Give me the Chiefs.
All right. 8:20 on Sunday night, the Sunday night game, the Bears at the Texans. This is going to be interesting to say the least. Whether the results prove that. Mike, Derpy, start with you. Bears at Texans, Sunday Night Football.
CJ Stroud, baby. Give me the Texans.
Mike, same question over to you. The Bears at the Texans.
Yeah, I'm taking the Texans as well.
Monday Night Football, gentlemen. Falcons and Eagles. We got to take a good look at the Falcons. You've seen what the Eagles did. Mike, Falcons at Eagles.
Give me the Eagles. This Atlanta team did not impress me. I thought they were going to be a whole hell of a lot better than what we saw, and that Eagles team was firing pretty well in that opener. So give me the Eagles.
Derpy, Falcons at Eagles.
I hate Philly fans, but give me the Eagles.
All right, guys, that takes us to the last game, which is a 425 start on Sunday between your Pittsburgh Steelers and the Denver Broncos in the Mile High City. Again, this is a 425 start. People base your day around that. People, they expect the 1 o'clock and they, primetime games, but 425s are tricky. Mike, I'm going to start with you on this one. The Steelers at the Broncos, plus I need your score prediction because we are going to turn that into your tiebreaker by adding the numbers and the whole formula. Yeah. Mike, who do you like? Steelers at Broncos.
I'm going to take the Steelers. I'm going to take the Steelers 24-17.
24-17. Derpy, over to you. Last game. We're going to pick it right now. Steelers at Broncos. And then your score.
Give me the Steelers 27-17.
Steelers 27-17. All right, guys. So that puts us at 44 points for Derpy. That puts us at 41 points for Mike. I'm going to take the picks. I'm going to put them in the vault, pull them out Monday morning, go over the scores, see who won. Again, Derpy, you lost by an eyelash last time. So hopefully you can get it this week and get you back in the running, tied up, because again, there is Permani's food that is on the line here, Permani's sandwiches. So Mike, Do you know anything
Yes.
about Josh Allen's wrist?
I looked real quick. He didn't pop up on an injury report, so I
That's
didn't see
big.
anything new. Yeah,
You
because
know.
I knew like it was bothering him a little bit in that game.
All right, guys, I want to jump over to the Pitt Panthers. There's a huge football game in Pittsburgh this week. Of course, Steelers are playing out of town. The Pitt Panthers and the West Virginia Mountaineers, guys, they are going at it. A couple other things before I do get into this West Virginia Pitt game. Mike, the Penn State Nittany Lions, your team, they actually
Mm-hmm.
moved up to the 7th spot in the coaches
How?
poll, right?
How?
But get this,
How?
Derpy's Ohio State, they dropped to 3. All they've done was beat teams. They scored 50 points in, I think, both of their first games. Granted, there's an extremely weak schedule. I think we could all agree on that.
Yeah.
But the Ohio State Buccaneers on the AP poll did drop down to number 3 from 2. So that was a little bit of movement from you guys' team that I certainly wanted to throw out there.
You just call them the Buccaneers.
The Buckeyes, Mike, they dropped to the 3 spot in the AP poll, and the Penn State Nittany Lions, they go up to number 7 in the coaches poll. So
You know what? I'll take it, but we did not deserve to move up. We probably should have went down.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Bowling Green game was tough, I guess.
It was bad. Yeah, like the defense that's supposed to be the best part of this team came out very sluggish that first half.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, this was, Mike, the results of your last 10 backyard brawls. Of course, this week at 3:30 on Saturday, the Pitt Panthers will be hosting the West Virginia Mountaineers in an extremely important game, certainly for Pitt. Mike, your last 10 last year,
Mm-hmm.
they lost 17-6, the Panthers did, but the year before, you recall MJ Devonshire taking the interception to the house to win that game 38-31. Back in 2011, West Virginia actually won 3 in a row from 2004. I'm just trying to see the way they do this. Okay. Yeah, they lost 3 in a row. They lost 21-20 in 2017. They lost 35-10 in 2010, and they lost 19-16. And then the Panthers, they did win it in 08, 07. So they kind of have this mixed up. But at the end of the day, the last 10 meetings, 5 wins for Pitt, 5 wins for West Virginia. You couldn't get any bigger. If Pitt wins this game, they get Youngstown State next week with a chance to go 4-0 into conference play. I think that's big, especially considering Pitt did get this week. They finally got 2 votes, albeit it
Hey,
is 2 votes for the top 25. I will be definitely supporting our Pitt Panthers this weekend. Hopefully they can beat these West Virginia Mountaineers. And again, if you could take a 4-0 win in the conference play, Mike, I'll take that.
yeah, that'd be huge. And the ACC not being, you got a couple teams this year, but I think they can sneak in there and have a chance to make it to the playoffs. Because like
Absolutely.
Boston College, Louisville, the Hurricanes, and Clemson are all the ranked teams right now. I I I like their chances, especially with that quarterback Holstein. I like what I'm seeing from him, even though he is just a freshman. I think that kid's going
And
to
some
be
of these other
legit.
skill players too,
Yeah.
man.
Mm-hmm.
Reed and Mumfield, these guys are really
Yeah.
lighting it up. So hopefully they can continue.
Yeah.
Let's get this win. We'll start with West Virginia Saturday, 3:30 on the North Shore. We'll try to win that game, and we'll go from there. Guys, Brian did address on the board. He says that Josh Allen's wrist is fine. It's his non-throwing hand, just a bruise. And he got that from a reliable source, as I see. Jen, so if you are still on board with us, that is the scoop on Josh Allen. Mike Derpy, I'm going to jump over to this real quick because we are short on time. My Caitlin Clark, my sweet Caitlin Clark, she scores 16 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds as the Fever lose last night to the Aces, 86-75. The Fever dropped to 19-18, still in position for a shot for the playoffs. And the Aces, they make it to 23-13. They will be playing again tomorrow against the Aces at 7:30. Check out what my Caitlin Clark can do tomorrow in her pursuit of getting this team into the playoffs. The Bucks guys, the Pittsburgh Pirates, Bailey Falter takes a no-hitter into the 7th inning. Falter goes 7 in a third, 2 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, and a 3-1 win over the Marlins. The Pirates sweep somebody. They swept the Florida Marlins 3-0 with 16 games left in the season. The Pittsburgh Pirates sit at 70 and 76. They're fighting for that 500 spot. And you know what? I got to be honest. I hope they get it. So the next series starts tomorrow. Kansas City Royals will be coming to town for the second to last series of the season at home. So once they're
I'm gonna
done
be
with
real.
this,
I need you to win.
hey, you know what? We'll take it. We'll try to do that for you, Derpy, and your little Indians up there, and the Guardians. I'm sorry. So last night, guys, they did win. They won 3-1. David Bednar comes in late in the game, almost blows it, gives up a couple hits. They had to have Beeks come in and save his ass.
Beeks.
Pirates win 3-1. Reynolds goes 2 for 3. Nicky G goes 2 for 4. Jared Triolo 2 for 3 with a home run. Probables for tomorrow's game in game 1 of 3 against the Royals at home at 6:40. Luis Ortiz will be on the hill. The pitcher for Kansas City has not been announced yet. And then Saturday and Sunday's pitchers are Mitch Keller and Jared Jones. Andrew McCutchen hit a home run 2 nights ago, put him at 20 home runs for the season.
Yes.
That gives him 8 seasons with 20 or more home runs. That is second to only Willie Stargell on the all-time Pittsburgh Pirates list. So, if Kutch stayed here the whole time, could you imagine the numbers that he would have as a Pirate?
They would be nuts. They would be insane. He probably would be number 1 on that list.
And finally, the Bucks GM Ben Cherington says he expects manager Derek Shelton to return in 2025. This is why you can't take the Pirates serious.
You can't.
You just can't.
Was that your pitching coach?
That's our head coach.
That's your head coach?
Yeah. I wish Ben Cherington was gone. What's he announcing that Derek Shelton's staying? I wish they were both gone. But that was
Shelton,
announced. He does
Cherington, Andy
expect
Haynes.
Derek Shelton to be back in 2025.
They just need to go.
That is the Pittsburgh Pirates. Mike, the division looks like this, and then we'll start getting ready to wrap up. The Brewers atop the division, Chicago 8.5 games out, St. Louis in third place, 10 games out. The Reds 13 games out, Pirates 13.5 games out, 10 games out of the wild card spot. Luckily, there's only 16 games left in the season. Put them out of their misery. Let's focus on football full time. I don't think anybody could disagree with that.
Yeah, I can't wait for football, and more football.
And I can't wait for you to tell everybody about the website.
The 2dumbyinzers.com. Head on over there, everyone. I got 4 social media links over there. Then I have listed here on YouTube. So you can check us out over there. We got the merchandise store with 2dumbyinzers merch. We got, Derpy's favorite saying. That's why they play 162 over there. Remember, you don't mess with 10% malt liquor. It always wins. That's over there. 10% malt liquor always wins. That's a hot seller over there. So make sure you get that. And
ask Mike the number. Ask Mike the number of sales on that malt liquor shirt. Go ahead.
But the same was the 162 one. They're not flying off the shelves either. But yeah, I was trying to pump it up, right?
All right.
Trying to pump it up. Then we got the blog returning this week after last week's snafu with the website. That will be up as well. So this weekend, check out the blog at the2dumbyinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumbyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumbyinzers.com. Guys, it is time for the trivia of the day. Of course, everybody knows how we played. We do it around here. Whoever the Steelers play that week, that is who the trivia is going to be on. So this is a Denver Broncos trivia question today. Only one more of them this week, and then we'll be on to the next. But right now, guys, put your thinking caps on. Everybody on the board, people at home, here we go. Question of the day, Denver Broncos style. Who was the coach of the Denver Broncos when they won their first Super Bowl?
Ooh.
Who was the head coach of the Denver Broncos when they won their first Super Bowl? Go ahead and take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every day throughout the week, right here on YouTube. Check us out. All right, gentlemen, ladies, anybody who's participating, here we go. Who was the coach of the Denver Broncos when they won their first Super Bowl? Don't hesitate to answer on the board. Everybody at home, think this one over. Mike, I'm going to come to you first. Who was the coach of the Denver Broncos when they won their first Super Bowl?
I don't know why, but Dan Reeves came to mind, but I'm going to go with Shanahan.
Mike Shanahan?
Yep.
All right. Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
All right. I'm going to lock you in. You're in place. Don't try to even change your answer now.
All right.
Derpy, over to you. Who was the head coach of the Denver Broncos when they won their first Super Bowl? Mike says Mike Shanahan. Who do you think?
I have no idea, so I'm just gonna go with Mike Shanahan.
Mike Shanahan as well. Is that your final answer?
Yes, sir.
All right. I got Derpy locked in. I got Mike locked in. Guys, question of the day, Denver Broncos question. Who was the head coach of the Denver? They won their first Super Bowl. If I give you the year, would that help you? 1997, Mike. 1997. All right, sticking with your answer.
Yeah, you're not.
Right.
Yeah,
I wasn't going to change it anyway. I was just trying to get you to maybe.
I remember the players. I just can't remember who the coach was.
Guys, the head coach of the Denver Broncos when they won their first Super Bowl back in 1997. They were 0-4 prior to that in the Super Bowl 1997. They did beat the Green Bay Packers, I believe, 32-25, give or take, something like this. But Mike Shanahan, guys, was correct. He was the head coach of that team.
You wanted me to go back to my initial response.
Well, you were already locked in, so there isn't that much I could do. I was trying to help you.
I don't know why, like, what's his name popped in my head first?
Because he was, I think he was the coach in the 80s for the Broncos.
I think so, yeah.
If I'm remembering right, I do want to touch on this just briefly because Brian did put it up on the board. He says Clark shot 22 times and was 1 from 10 from 3. She also had 5 turnovers. 8 of her threes were from 25 or further. Yeah,
things happen.
Well, I mean, she's doing a lot of great things as well. But I understand where you're coming from. Mike, anything before we start getting ready to wrap it up for the day?
I lost the stat. Twitter refreshed automatically, so I lost the stat. It's not surprising, but in close, like one possession games, the top 3 teams out of the past 10 years, it goes Steelers, Chiefs, Tampa Bay, and then the quote was on the tweet, it was like, think about who the quarterbacks were on those teams. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, and then the hodgepodge of nothingness that we had at quarterback, and we were the best team in the past 10 years or 5-6 years, I think it was.
Even when Ben was there, it wasn't like we were.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't prime Ben either. So yeah.
Excuse me.
And so, surprisingly, this team is really well in close scoring games. Like Marlon Humphrey said, man, you don't want to play us in these tight games.
You've heard this many times over the past couple of years. They are the best team in one score games.
Yeah,
it's certainly been
nuts.
The past 2 years. No two ways about it. I do want to say thank you everybody for coming and hanging out with us today, checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. We really, really, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you. And then everybody on the board, you guys always keep things interesting. Jennifer says, thanks, guys. Absolutely not a problem. Also, Mike, I do want to say, don't forget, guys, check out this coming Sunday, Brian Pasquale, a great friend of the show here. He is firing up his show. He's working on these things for Sunday morning pregame, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Sunday mornings of Steeler game days. Catch him this Sunday at 11 o'clock on his channel, One Man's Opinion on Sports with Brian Pasquale on YouTube. Go over there, check him out. He's putting videos up that he's making also on Wednesdays. His fresh new videos come out at 10 o'clock every Wednesday morning. And then his radio show over at WBVP, Beaver County Radio, he hosts the One Man's Opinion on Sports with Brian Pasquale from 4 to 6 p.m. every Wednesday afternoon. Do check him out. A lot of good stuff talked about. And, certainly here in football season, I just can't get enough. I can't get enough of my Steelers information, numbers, statistics, all these kind of things. So I'll certainly be checking out all these. And again, Brian is firing up his new channel. Check him out in his new show. That is Sunday morning, 11 o'clock, Steelers pregame. Check him out.
Yes.
Finally, Mike, I think that's it. We got our picks in for the week. We're all set on that. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about all kind of things heading into the weekend, of course. A lot of stuff going on. Steelers, Pitt, Pirates, the Riverhounds. If you're in Pittsburgh, that might pique your interest. Also, high school football getting ready to kick off. It's 4th week of play tomorrow night. So we'll be talking about all kind of things tomorrow as we head into the weekend. Derpy, anything before we get ready to take off?
If you haven't seen it, go see it. Go see Beetlejuice.
That's what I wanted to do. This is your PS, people. I promised Derpy he could give a quick review on Beetlejuice. He did go to see it. Beetlejuice. Derpy, how was it?
It was not mid. It was fun and a worthy sequel to the 1988 original.
Because you weren't even going to go. You said you heard the plot wasn't that good and you weren't even going to go, but you went.
I did, and it was very enjoyable.
It pleasantly surprised you, huh?
Yes, it did, sir.
There you go. So according to the panda on your screen right now, Derpy, he says that Beetlejuice is worth it. Go check it out. And then, and if you're not a movie person, maybe wait till it comes out. But Derpy recommends Beetlejuice. Mike, you look like you have something to say.
No.
Okay.
No, I was gonna. Nope. I got nothing.
I thought there was a stab at Derpy coming, but you know what?
There almost was, but
you're not on your game today.
I'm not. No, I got sucked into the time on Twitter to see if there's any late breaking news. That always happens to us.
All right, everybody. But I do want to say thank you one more time for hanging out today. Yes. We hope to see you tomorrow. We'll be back the same time to go over all this stuff going into the weekend, guys. Mad sports in Pittsburgh this weekend. No two ways about that. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about it all. For Mike in the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, for Derpy, myself, everybody have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.